Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So this starts chapter 3 of Helena's side quest. Hopefully you got to play some of the side quests, or if not, hopefully you caught my videos on both chapter 1 and chapter 2. And I hope you enjoyed those videos as well. Anyways, just a reminder, if you are at this point, you can start this chapter first before going into another dungeons. The reason why is if you choose to at least start this chapter, you will be allowed to use Galliard as a guest, and he does gain shadow while in the old KMS headquarters, another dungeon, both hard and very hard. So for those who don't know, or just as a reminder, it is a 10% chance of gaining light or shadow of the respective character in the green keys, the hard one, and is a 20% chance of gaining that in the very hard or red keys. So definitely worthwhile for you to bring Galliard along. Also, don't forget that he does add a bonus as well in collecting Time Layers Force if you don't have enough bonus characters. And let me remind you that those that entire list is in the notices. So, like most of these longer story videos, I will just make a couple of comments and summarize part of what I see that's interesting in this chapter. And then I'm going to stay silent until the actual boss battle at the very end of the video as well. So you can feel free to either listen to me talk, and then if you are interested, to check me out at the very end of the chapter to see what kind of boss strategies are applicable. What you also need to know is that for this particular chapter, there will come a point where you'll need some Time Layers Force to unlock a certain area in order to proceed. And apparently you only need 3,000. So even 1 or 2 runs in the dungeon, I would say one of each, would be more than enough to progress in chapter 3. So I wouldn't be too worried about it, provided you are bringing as many bonus characters as you can. Now later on in this chapter, a giant robot will now attack the Rift Breaker. And of course, you know who controls that, Lea Back. You'll also be introduced to enhanced synth humans, which are basically an improved version of the regular synth humans that we've all battled over the last few chapters and also in part 1. And so I guess synth humans have basically evolved and created better versions of themselves. Makes sense. They are kind of like organisms in a way as well. After this, you will be having 3 mod battles with enhanced synth humans in it as part of the story quest. So you can choose to equip a party that has all the bonus characters, in which case you'll get a little bit extra Time Layers Force. Or if you choose to just slaughter the competition, feel free to bring your best team as well. I mean, this is not the most efficient way to farm Time Layers Force, so feel free to just progress with the storyline with your top team if you'd like to. So they are not too difficult at all. Also, we will learn a lot more about the relationship between Galliard and Lea Back. And I'm hoping that the storyline does tie up within chapter 4, because it still leaves me a lot of questions. Again, with most of my summary commentary, I try not to give too many spoilers, and in the hopes that you will watch through this entire episode, or if you just don't want to know yet and you want to play through it yourself, I leave you that option as well. Now, you'll also actually find a secret area within Industrial Ruins, which we've never encountered before. So that will be part of the exploration through the later half of chapter 3. You'll also meet new mobs. So again, you'll get some Chrono Stones reward for enhancing and killing 1, 20, and 100 of those if you choose to. Now, Rovella actually shows up in this particular episode. So keep in mind that Rovella is one of the bonus characters for this side quest. And if you do already own a 4-star Rovella and you've done his 2 story quests, it'll show you a little bit more into the dirty side or the dark side of El Zion and some of the goings on between the military and the KMS, which is the kind of top tier tech giant. And like I said, a lot of dirty secrets there. So just watch out for Rovella, and near the end of the chapter, when he celebrates finishing a job well done, if you do have him, you'll note that particular celebration. And what is up with Biaka and Galliard? I mean, they definitely have something going on, and I imagine that the story quests for her personal story will probably unlock that secret. Unfortunately, I don't have Biaka, nor am I pulling for her, so I won't have access to the complete storyline. And also, if you do already have Biaka, you will need to have finished all 4 of these side quest chapters in order to finally unlock her level 53rd quest, so keep that in mind as well. I will say that Biaka and Galliard definitely have chemistry. Now I'm wondering whether or not they were also dating in the past, because if you've watched the first 2 chapters, apparently Elena and Galliard were humans, and they were also lovers before becoming synth humans. Maybe Biaka's history dates before that. Also, at the end of chapter 2, and definitely into chapter 3, you'll note that something is definitely wrong with Galliard. And it is explained in full in chapter 3, near the end. I will say that the ending to chapter 3 definitely gets the feels going. So, again, I will congratulate the Another Eden storyline staff for writing such a compelling and yet touching story. And I will also say that their music score is top notch. Okay. So a couple more things I wanted to comment on. You'll learn a little bit more about the KMS and their secrets. And you'll finally find out why Galliard doesn't feel that synth humans can coexist with humans. And it's very unfortunate. Anyways, like most of my story videos, I'll stop talking now and let you enjoy the rest of the story in peace. I will pick up the mic again and speak during the boss battle near the end. So I'll have some radio silence until then. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
人間の力見るがいい。
反転攻勢打って出ましょう。ラスト立ち止まってなどいられないわ。 を開けなさい。消えなさい。
ダメだ。
Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, checking in the second part of this video. Now, as promised, we are going to watch the boss battle for this chapter. And of course, you know who we're going to be fighting. We're going to be fighting Lea Back. And we don't know what happened to Galliard. Looks like he's unfortunately either severely injured or incapacitated. Now, I will say that after this boss battle, you will realize what has happened because they will explain it in detail. But let's not worry about that. Let's worry about this boss battle. So, couple things to note. He is very fast. I believe he outspeeds even some of my 5 stars, with the exception of Mario. And they are mostly single target, I would say small to medium damage. And he can hit anywhere from 2 to 3 single targets in a row. So if you have all 4 stars, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. Otherwise, you can see Helios is one of his AoE fire attacks. With mitigation, I wouldn't expect it to deal too much damage. That Flux arrow is the one that's really fast. So you can see 3 hits there, stuns as well, and so you're incapacitated for that turn. One good thing to note is that for the most part, if you build up your AF bar and you deal enough damage, he will change modes and be a little bit more of a threat. We'll just see that shortly here. So we're just going to continue beating him down. Unfortunately, I don't see any weaknesses. He is resistant to earth, which a lot of air enemies are, but he is not vulnerable to pierce. So that's something to keep in mind. I didn't bring any wind characters other than Amy, and Amy's Elysium does not do additional damage as well. So, like most of my boss battles, we're going to try to set up large AF, and we're going to try to bring Amy back, and we're going to do a lot of valor chanting and end the battle hopefully right here. So you can see I'm going to bring in Rovella as well as Amy. So you can see again, the AoEs can deal a moderate amount of damage. And after a couple of turns, he now boosts his own speed. And it's going to be a little bit more of a threat. So I'm not sure if it's because I dealt enough damage or if he just kind of did that after a round of turns. Anyways, we're going to do a large AF and see how much damage we can do here. And it looks like, unfortunately, not quite enough to kill him. About 400,000 damage. Now, the surprising thing is, after this battle, note that you didn't have to kill him. And surprisingly, we were about to deal the killing blow, and Rovella actually interrupts it. Unfortunately, he was hired by someone even more dirty to prevent Lea Back from being destroyed by us. So anyways, that is the boss battle. Nothing too difficult, and in terms of fighting, certainly easier than the last encounters with Cyrus or for the 4 or 5-star Amy. Anyways, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Also, I do have a Patreon account for those who are interested in supporting me that way. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
う